I'm going to hand over to you, Paul. Is there anything that you want to kick off with? Have you got like a favorite pick of the draft, or what's your biggest takeaway?
I absolutely loved the trade that the Jaguars made with the Browns to pretty much kick off the draft. So the Jaguars have, and I know it's the draft. I know it's a draft. So these are like scratch cards, lottery tickets, whatever, however you want to call them. We do not know, despite what we have seen from these athletes in college. But the Jaguars potentially have got the best cornerback in the draft and the best wide receiver in the draft. And let's be honest, like the Jaguars are a pretty irrelevant franchise. So to take that risk, make that bet, I think you make that trade. And for Cleveland, they get a first round pick next year in what's being projected as being the quarterback draft. Well, at least compared to this year's draft. And they still get the the best defensive tackle, at least ranked in the draft. So yeah, I just like it for both teams, really do. And yeah, you just got to be aggressive, and because the Jaguars having that first round pick next year. I mean, we've seen like there's absolutely no guarantee that they one make the right decision, two they turn into anything, and just so I'd rather have the it's never a certainty, but at least you've got Travis Hunter on your roster. And yeah, if you think of it that they've taken the best projected player at two positions to give up a first round pick next year, I don't hate it at all. And Cleveland have that first round pick in the bank for next year when they could be going after a quarterback, despite having taken two in this draft. And the Browns, the Browns are actually the Browns are. Let's be real. The Browns are quite a polarizing team. So, you hate them or you kind of love them, or you just love to get on the Browns. This is just people, myself included, and that's a rivalry thing with me because they're in my division. But I don't hate the Browns like taking the two quarterbacks. They probably overdrafted Gabriel based on how he was ranked in the third round, and then they got tremendous value by taking Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round. So if you balance that, then they probably came out ahead. And they're the Browns; they don't have a quarterback. So buy another two scratch cards and see what you got. And you've also got the pick next year, where if both of them don't work out, Gabriel and Sanders, then we'll go again. We'll go again. So I don't. That was just my takeaway, just coming out of the draft. Like, how's this going to work out for both teams? The Jaguars and Browns make probably the biggest move of the night, and I quite like it for both teams. And it's rare that you come out of a trade thinking, "Yeah, I quite like that. I see the kind of logic behind it." So yeah, and I love Travis Hunter. Love Travis Hunter.
I just think now to Trevor Lawrence, the pressure is on because I agree. I think this was a great move. The prospect of Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. as your wide receiver tandem, that's
Yeah,
got to be up there. I mean,
yeah,
if Travis Hunter is who Travis Hunter is in college,
mm.
this has the potential to be another top 10 duo at receiver. And, the Jaguars went and got Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator from the Buccaneers. Look what he did with Baker Mayfield. Look what he did with that offense.
Yep.
He used a two running back approach with Rashad White and Bucky Irving. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the Jaguars because they've got Bigsby. They do have ETN, but they've drafted another running back. So we know ETN fell out of favor with Pedersen. We'll see if he gets a fresh start here or not. But
Yeah,
I say the pressure's on Trevor Lawrence. And I'd say maybe I've been higher than average on Trevor Lawrence. I think you've probably been a bit lower than average on Trevor Lawrence. It's all set up now, so he has to deliver.
yeah,
But what you were saying on the Browns, like their side of the trade, I loved their trade. I thought that's a really good move because if you remember last time we spoke, I was thinking, why would they draft Travis Hunter knowing they can't really get the maximum out of him? We don't know who's going to be at quarterback. We don't know, what the level of quarterback play is going to be. You could end up just wasting Travis Hunter. So from that point of view, to me, it made sense, and it was a great, the Jaguars paid, they had to pay to get him. So
yeah. For the Brown side of things, like they don't cornerback's not absolutely critical need for them. So
no,
so yeah, at receiver they probably do need. I mean, any team needs Travis Hunter projected, but I can see the logic of right. We'll just go next year because the Browns are just in the business of like Travis Hunter's not going to take them over the top. The Browns are in the business of they need the quarterback. The Jaguars are on the flip side. They have committed to the quarterback, so the Jaguars now need talent and scheme to take the quarterback to wherever he can take them. So the Jaguars are committed, and the Browns are just and that's what I mean. I just get it from both sides. I completely understand the logic, and we're talking about the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I, you take a step back and you go, yeah, it's quite a smart move for both teams, and it's rare that you say that with those two franchises. So
what I will say though is, so they take Mason Graham at 5, the defensive tackle who has a wrestling background and, looks like he can block shed, you know, easily. We'll see in the NFL. I mean, that's a win for Myles Garrett. You think that now you've got him on the interior, yeah, you're probably still going to double Myles Garrett, but you've got another problem to worry about. And I just felt that in round 2 and round 3, the Browns had the opportunity to really stack that defense. And I've got to admit, I don't love the picks they made. I think you already said it, with Gabriel, they probably overdrafted him. I get it, you've got to buy the lottery ticket at quarterback. You just have to keep trying.
yeah,
They've taken the adage that if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got no quarterbacks to a new level, having 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
yep,
But let's see what happens.
yeah.
Um, but when I look at the other picks, yeah, they took Quinshon Judkins at running back. I understand it because the moment they did that, the Patriots pounced on his teammate, Travion Henderson. And you just saw in the second round the dominoes fall at running back. There was a lot of running backs gone. So I understand it, but I just felt like they had the opportunity to add another piece to that defensive line. And, like you said, next year they feel like it's a quarterback year and they are well stocked with the draft ammo now to move up if they need to.
But this draft, like when you're looking through it after and you're trying to make sense of it, it is at least everybody's like a complete genius now in the off season, and everybody's like a lot of teams are delighted with what they've
We
done.
all won.
All won. We're all headed to the Super Bowl. Did you see who we drafted? But this draft, in like a summary, is kind of when you're trying to find an extreme reaction. Like there was so much mid in this draft. There was so much like
Yep.
from probably your top. And I don't even think it probably goes to 10. I think it probably goes to from 6 down from Genti, at least projected like what ranked the potential blue chip players at least heading into the draft. What would you say, the top six? And then you could go, and then it's the hot could be the whole way down to the fourth, fifth round that you go. There's not a huge separation between loads of these players, and there's loads of teams that will get to it, but there's loads of teams like that they were taking edge players in the third, fourth, fifth round who were still projected to be really, really good. And
Mm.
that's just a strange year in the NFL draft because in other years, you have to take your edge in round one, round two max, or you're not getting one, or you're not getting one that at least you have confidence is going to produce. So, yeah, that's when you summarize the draft, there's a lot of teams that you go, and I've seen these, the talking heads and the experts. There's a lot of Bs. There's a lot of A's and Bs, B grade. There's not a lot of D's, and there's
Yeah.
definitely E's and F's because there's a lot of mid players.